Hello everyone, greetings and salutations, Demon here. I recently held a poll in regards to if you wanted to know why I use a virtual avatar, why I use a VTuber model or a VYouTuber model, whatever you want to call it. There's a big backstory behind this, and it is dark, so buckle yourselves in. We are in for a ride. I wasn't always a virtual YouTuber. There was a time where I used my actual face, and in a small town, that made me a bit of a target. I'd started really hardcore on YouTube around, I would say, 2011. I had done things on there before, but they were just fun little casual things. But it was around 2011 to 2013 where I got signed to a multi-channel network, got monetized, was getting a lot of subscribers. So things are really looking up in my YouTube career, so to speak. Now, something you have to understand is back in the 2010s, a lot of people didn't understand why you would want to be on YouTube. They did not understand why you'd want to put yourself out there. And a lot of jealousy and negative feelings would be birthed from that. Um, it started with threats online, and then they found out where I lived. And by they, I mean there's a group of about 3 or 5 guys. And I just moved out, and I lived just around the corner from a grocery store. I lived in a basement apartment underneath a very lovely older Italian couple. Um, and these guys, it started with them driving by and catcalling me. They would drive by like, "Hey, Tom!" And I thought, oh, it must be Beatlemania. It must be like popular or something. And I would just like sheepishly wave, not knowing um, that their intent or anything like that. And then it got more and more frightening where they were turning up more. If I were listening to my earbuds, like out for a walk, there that car would be, and it would slow down. If I was outside reading a book, the car would drive by and slow right down. It got to the point where my now stalkers were they were bold enough to pull into the driveway of the basement apartment that I was renting underneath a nice old Italian couple. I was lucky that day in that my Italian landlord was outside, and I'm not sure what he said, but they skedaddled pretty quick. But that's not where it ended. One day I was bringing groceries in, and I had forgotten to lock the door, and these guys pulled up, and they invaded my home. They had a weapon. I'm not going to say what weapon to keep things as friendly here as I can, but it was a weapon that was sincere enough for me to give them whatever the heck they wanted. Now, luckily at the time, I had the wherewithal, once the stalking started, to hide the stuff that I used for making YouTube videos, my good laptop and my good webcam. There was kind of like a little false wall that I could remove a panel from. And I stashed everything in there, and instead, on my desk, I had a little $100 notebook and a broken webcam, because I figured that would be a great diversion. And so that's what they wanted. That's what they went for, along with any other items of value in my apartment. And then they left. And I was left flabbergasted. I had been violated in a way that, it's hard to describe. People coming into your home armed and completely upturning your life. But of course, I kept on doing my thing. I ended up moving to a new building with an industrial fire door. That, the kind where, like, you can't kick it in. It's like solid steel, you know. But one day, some guys dressed up in balaclavas and, you know, ordinary clothing came and started kicking. And this was at a time where I was having a lot of success on YouTube. I had a deal with Disney through Maker Studios because they owned Maker Studios, where I was doing a couple of proof of concepts for them. So I was making some pretty good money off of that. They ended up buying one of the proof of concepts and made it into a show for the new Disney Channel. But by that point, I basically had enough, and I thought it's time to lie low. I can't keep doing this. I want to preface this by saying that none of this is YouTube's fault. This could happen to anyone at any time for putting yourself out there on the internet, especially in a small town like mine. So these lifeless losers basically took from me one of the things that was the most valuable to me, and that was the ability to make content on YouTube, to make my comedy skits, and, to be monetized. I had about 50,000 subscribers at the time, which wasn't amazing, but wasn't that bad either. So at that point, I went fully into author work. I've been a writer since I could pick up a pen, and so I just went straight into writing sleazy romance novels. I don't know how to put it any other way because they sell well. But then, one fine day, I discovered someone. Iron Mouse. Yes, Iron Mouse, I am a result of you. This is your fault. She was amazing to me, Iron Mouse. She was a classically trained singer, and she would just bust out and start singing opera and was amazing. And I thought to myself, if she can do this and stay totally anonymous on YouTube, maybe I can too. And at the time, I didn't know what my way in was. Fast forward to a couple of years ago, and I discovered what VR chat was. Um, a place of pretty much unlimited possibilities and unlimited, like, I can do anything here that I want. I logged on YouTube, after having some fun with it. And I thought, what's a niche that's not being filled on YouTube right now? Like, what's something that VTubers hadn't cornered? Because VTubers were very popular at the time. And I had noticed that there were no virtual reactors. So I thought, maybe I should give that a try. And before I knew it, it started spiraling and snowballing into this beautiful thing where I was getting this amazing community of wonderful people And, over time, I refined my process and got a little better and a little better each time to the point where I'm at today. So for me, being a virtual YouTuber affords me privacy, it affords me safety. Um, Whereas that was not a luxury that I had before. Again, I was robbed by someone with a weapon in hand in my own home, just for creatively expressing myself. But now, like, the sky is the limit. I can do anything I want on here and not have to worry about being stalked and not have to worry about people in town recognizing me. No one in town knows I do this, like, not even my folks. And that is beautiful. There's no way to find me. There's no way to, put two and two together and figure out, oh, this guy, this VTuber demon is Tom. Because now YouTube is so saturated, it's pretty much impossible to find me. I'll be the first to say that I don't exactly have this whole VTuber thing down quite yet, I'm doing my best. But it's afforded me the freedom to do what I love again. And that is worth more to me than you could possibly imagine. Now, going back in time, would I trade any of the experiences that I had had? No, because I saw an incredible amount of success. I had a TV show bought from me by Disney. Like, I was doing okay, and I was accumulating measurable success. My only hope is that I can continue to be successful on here as a virtual YouTuber. It's a lot harder to be a reactor as a virtual YouTuber. I've seen just from, looking at videos, that I've done, and then looking at a video that's been, the same video that's been reacted to by like Soccer Mom 101, that people would much rather see an actual person. So that is an obstacle. But I feel like my personality shines through. And the people that really get to know me, you people, like, you're beautiful to me. You've taken the time to get to know me, and and for some reason you enjoy what I do, and that means the world to me. So now, with my newly afforded privacy, the sky really is a limit as to what I can do. And I am just so excited for the future and what the future holds. I want to thank y'all for supporting me, and I hope that this answers any questions you may have about me being a virtual YouTuber. I know this was a question on a lot of your minds. You'd expressed it yesterday, and so I wanted to do it some justice. Subscribe to me, the salt of the earth, demon, and peace and love. Thank you for being a part of this beautiful family we fostered together. I am grateful for each and every one of you. Okay, now bring it in. Give me a hug. Yeah.